Welkom terug bij het Bonaire Journaal. Konrad Antczak, een Venezolaanse archeoloog, deed in 2 weken onderzoek in Klein Bonaire. Bonaire Journaal heeft het volgende.
Well, yes, it's really been 2 weeks that have been very intense. We've excavated already 15 trenches, 1 by 1 meter trenches, many test pits, and we found a lot of really interesting information that links the Venezuelan coast in the 17th and 18th centuries with Bonaire and with the small uninhabited island of Klein Bonaire. There was at the time a thriving informal commerce that was occurring. The cacao from Venezuela was being brought here, possibly to the site where there's a ruin now that was maybe a warehouse where this cacao was stored. And we've been digging in the campsite that was in front, where we found glass bottle remains, bowls of Dutch Delft. We've also found criollo ware, so ceramics that I possibly think are from Venezuela, that still have to have analyses done by me back in Barcelona in my university. But it's a really rich site in terms of understanding better what occurred in the 18th century on Bonaire, where we really don't know much. Even historians don't know much about that time.
The people who brought this, who were they? Were they Indians? Who were they?
Yeah, so the people who would come from the coast of Venezuela, they were very varied. I mean, there were some indigenous people who would come as well, sometimes even in canoes, in small boats. Pardos or Criollo Venezuelans would come. The Sephardim, so the Jews from Curacao, were actually very involved in this trade. They were the main movers. So they would go with their ships that were also manned by enslaved, by free people of African descent, indigenous people, Spaniards. They were mixed crews. And the people who were probably camped in front of the warehouse, it's still, the research is developing. I still have to bring all the information together in the coming months. But they were probably either indigenous Bonaireans or freed people from the island. They probably weren't Dutch. We found 2 cannonballs. We found a smaller one, possibly a 3-pounder, and a much larger one. I think they were probably fired at the island because there were no gun emplacements there, I suppose. We did find the hardware from a musket, so they were defending what now is the ruin, the warehouse. Probably they had cacao there stored. Cacao was very valuable. But the balls were probably fired at the site. I still have to see if there's any documents that maybe mention this, that maybe some English privateers passed by through here, or even some Spanish corsairs, who were always harassing the cacao ships that were coming and going to Curacao and here.
You have all this information. What is the next step?
So the next step is analysis. In the coming months, I'll bring together the documentary evidence, the archaeological evidence, also the chemical analysis of some of these ceramics to determine if they're really from Venezuela, which would be a very big deal. It would be something for the first time done here. And all of these remains will be stored in Skal, in Museu Bonaire. I have the intention, together with the staff from Skal, to make an exposition, so a case where all of this will be available for the people of Bonaire to go and see. There's going to be a few scientific publications, and also publications for the public here on Bonaire. Once I have all the information integrated and I have a better picture of what happened. But the idea is that everybody knows about this, because this site is unique, and we don't know anything about the 18th century pretty much on Bonaire.